Hi, friends. Welcome back to Heartcast. We're joined with Michelle Walker from the Anne Carlsen Center. Michelle, welcome to the Heartcast.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
I am fabulous and improving. And Michelle, it is just great that I can hear you, we can see you, and we're ready for a delightful interview with you. Could you start out by telling us about the mission of Anne Carlsen Center, which I know is quite vast, but if you could paint us a picture about the important work that gets done there every day.
Sure. Yeah. Well, the mission of the Anne Carlsen Center is to make the world a more inclusive place where independence is a gift to all. Um, and this year is actually our 80th anniversary. So we've been around as a nonprofit in North Dakota for a really long time, and we're just ready and willing to help anybody we can and share our services across the state.
Well, in creating independence for all, can you walk us through some of the programming that you do? And you do so much, I know, but you're all over the state and you're providing lots of avenues for people to live more independent lives and to create facilities of support and care. And so could you walk us through some of those key programs that the Anne Carlsen Center offers?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Our center itself is actually in Jamestown, and that's where we house our residential program. We have a K through 12 educational school in the center, and that's where we have our medically fragile wing where we work with kiddos that are on ventilators and feeding tubes and need a little more intensive help. And then we also have inpatient and outpatient therapy there. So we have physical therapy, occupational therapy, respiratory therapy, speech therapy, things along those lines. And then in 2008, we actually started moving into offices across the state and providing community-based services. So not only do we do that in Jamestown, where we actually go out into people's homes and the surrounding area, but we have 7 other offices. So we're in Bismarck, in Minot, in Botano, Devils Lake, Grand Forks, and then Fargo-Moorhead. And each of those offices are pretty unique. We provide different services all across the state. A lot of therapy services. We do a lot of early intervention services. Up in Botano, we have a really unique program with Annie's House where we provide adaptive recreation. So individuals that have disabilities can go skiing, they can go fishing. We can work with them on a number of different activities up there at Annie's House, which is part of Button Winter Park. We have a nice relationship with them up there. We work a lot with kiddos on the spectrum. We have autism services and work with applied behavioral analysis therapy with those kids. And we're really just working our way across the state. In 2008, before we started expanding, we'd served about 250 individuals in a year. And last year we were able to serve over 4,000 individuals across North Dakota and northwestern Minnesota.
Well, it's truly inspirational, when we think about developmental and mental disabilities, the autism spectrum, that the Anne Carlsen Center is there to serve all the families in our region across the region. And not only are you there providing this excellent service, but you're adapting it. You're continuing to find best practices, work within the communities where you exist to find things like in Botano and the Winter Park. Same with, innovative ways such as tailor-made living, I know, for your group. It's really a remarkable set of programs that you offer at the Anne Carlsen Center.
Right, and that's why Giving Hearts Day is so important to us, because it really provides that funding so we can, maybe get a little creative and work with inside the evidence-based practices to come up with some, alternative therapies or additional therapies, or provide that certain piece of equipment or that certain toy with an adaptive switch to a child that insurance doesn't cover, or reimbursement from the state doesn't cover, and really just help to enhance and give them the most support that we can, along with their families, and really just be there for them in any and every way that we can.
Well, and Michelle, I know there's also so many stories to tell. It's one of the beautiful things about Anne Carlsen. And I urge people to learn more. We'll go on a bit of a journey through this conversation where people can learn more, but there's so much to learn about your mission and the incredible work that you're doing, and so many stories. But does, one story is, you've been with the organization for quite a while. Does a story come to your mind that kind of scratched the heart about the good work that you do there, that you'd be willing to share with us?
Sure. It's hard to pick just one. I mean, my first thought goes to Dr. Anne herself, Dr. Anne Carlsen, who's the namesake of our center. But she was born without forearms or lower legs back, a long time ago when, there really weren't many chances for individuals with disabilities. And she really paved the way for all that we do. And we really follow her lead to this day. With our mission and helping individuals, and really helping people to see that individuals, they don't have a disability. It's just, there's alternatives. There's different ways. Everybody has something that they need to work on or need to adapt, and we would just really like to follow her lead. But one of the stories that comes to mind too is an individual that we worked with. She attended our techno camp at Camp Grassic. And really developed a love for film editing. And in working with her over the years, she ended up, through adaptive technology, she actually had some head switches set up on her wheelchair. And she could use that like you or I would use a mouse with her computer. And she could edit film faster with her head switches than you or I could do anything with a mouse. It was really fun to watch and really amazing. And she ended up getting a full scholarship to Full Sail University, got her degree in film editing. And when she went to graduation, they didn't even know that she was in a wheelchair. And then she actually went on and developed a commercial for Apple Corporation, and worked with them doing some editing. Her commercial was actually aired during the Super Bowl a few years ago. So, we have so many stories like that, and so many stories where children take their first step and say their first words. And, it's an amazing place to work and be able to see these things happen. And, for me, I always say it's an easy place to ask people for money, because I see what happens and I see the difference that those dollars make in individuals' lives.
Well, and I think those are such great stories. I mean, hearing about the namesake of Anne Carlsen, but also, having somebody that, this could be looked at as a setback in life, but because of Anne Carlsen Center's, your care for that, you've created an adaptation that led to an extraordinary life. In fact, making a Super Bowl commercial is probably the pinnacle of video editing, and you've made that possible. And that's one of thousands of stories that you have coming out of your center every single year. And so I urge people to learn more about the Anne Carlsen Center. You can find them on givingheartsday.org. Michelle, thank you for joining with us. Any other final comments you'd like to share with our HeartCast audience today?
Thank you for your giving heart, considering Carl today's $350,000 in match raised, and from 4 to 6 p.m. So right now, our friends at Dakota Bank in Jamestown actually are doing a triple match for us. So any dollars that come in between 4 and 6 will be tripled. So just keep that.
Well, there we go, a triple match by Dakota Bank. Go find Anne Carlsen Center on givingheartsday.org and make a contribution. Also learn more about their mission and reach out to Michelle Walker or her team to learn more about the Anne Carlsen Center. Michelle, thank you so much again for joining with us. We're going to go to a short message from Basin Electric, and then we'll be back with another interview here at the HeartCast.